Call to order the Perkasie Borough Council meeting for Monday, April 15, 2013. We can stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance by Mayor.
All rise. We would just take a few moments of silence to be with those who are in Boston, those who lost their lives, and those who are injured. Our Father in heaven, we know that we live in a broken and hurting and violent world. We ask that you be with the families tonight of those who lost their lives in Boston. We ask that you be with those who now need your healing touch. We ask, Lord, that you help us to understand some of the things that do take place, and we know that peace is impossible through your Son, Jesus. Now, Lord, we ask that you help us to not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, that we may present our requests unto you, and that your peace will guard our hearts and our minds. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you take the attendance, please? Appreciate everyone for being here this evening. We'll move on to our first public forum. So this is your chance to comment on items on the agenda. Come up, state your name and address, and please hit the talk button once. The red light will go on, and speak into the microphone. Maybe if you could just explain our courtesy rules.
Just as a reminder of that, the meeting agenda is the Perkasie Borough Council meeting policy. For our residents and taxpayers may address council only under the agenda as public forum. Exceptions we may only rearrange on an individual basis. Statements must be 3 minutes. Groups should select a spokesperson. Remarks must be addressed to council as a whole. Dialogues will not be entered into the council staff and speakers. Remarks addressed to specific individuals will be considered out of order. Those wishing to address Borough Council should rise when called upon and should state their name and address clearly and concisely for the public record. Attendance in public and council meetings is welcome and encouraged. Signing is available for the hearing impaired. Please contact the Borough office.
Yeah, please.
So 2 weeks ago I was here to talk about a letter about sidewalks. Roger Stiles from the train station. Certainly. So you guys are probably used to being at these meetings. I'm not. So after I left, I wasn't quite sure what I might have said or how clearly it came about. So a friend suggested I send an email to you all. I didn't see the email addresses very apparent on the website, so I decided I wrote it, but I figured I'd come back and just very quickly, it starts off Perkasie sidewalks, and it says everyone. To recap, what I was trying to communicate with the Borough Council meeting about the sidewalks problem caused by the pear trees in town. One, Dan Gilbert and I agreed that Perkasie has a tree problem that's very serious, and that these trees planted by Perkasie for downtown beautification will eventually make every sidewalk fail. 3 years ago, the first 2 trees, I think these might be the first trees, that lifted sidewalks were replaced on 6th Street in front of Browning Real Estate and also Cheryl Gilbert's salon. The 2 properties are next to each other. Council at that time saw that it was obvious that these trees caused the problem. This repair, because they came out of the grates, whereas some of the trees were just planted adjacent to the sidewalks. So this repair entailed ripping up the sidewalks, taking out the original trees, planting new smaller trees, and laying down new sidewalks, since these trees were planted in the sidewalk with the metal grates. The repair was considered a town problem, and Browning Real Estate and Cheryl Gilbert bore no expense for the repair. Dan Gilbert came into this event and decision was before his tenure memory of a past situation and how past council realized the responsibility for creating and fixing this problem. Number 3 of the 4 trees planted on septic property in front of the train station and 14 other trees right across the street on 7th between Shelley's and First Savings are already lifting up the sidewalks. It's in, quote, a growing problem that will not stop on its own. The problem revealed itself over 3 years ago, and now in retrospect you can see that there was no plan set in motion for that to prevent other sidewalks from lifting. And so now it's unfortunately a situation that your council is going to bear more seriously. After I got the letter, I did my best to look at the trees. I excavated in front of the 3 trees that were showing, and that's how I discovered these things. They're incredible. So you identify the problem, and speaking with you, I'm hoping to maybe help find a fix. So number 4, I believe the first step into the solution is to sever the roots that are uplifting the sidewalk more and more every day. Dan Gilbert told me that your council at this time was already looking in the future and expected that all these trees would have to be ripped out and other trees would have to be replanted. So basically, yeah. Not too much lift. So, if you sever the roots of these trees, which are uplifting the sidewalks, the trees will either survive or they'll die. The uplifting will stop. The trees that die could be cut off at ground level, the ones that aren't inside the grates. They wouldn't necessarily have to be torn up. They wouldn't have to break the sidewalk. And it might be an option that you guys have that would cost the town a whole lot less money. The little bit of lifting that's going in many of the situations can be fixed by that side cutting method, which Dan showed me was always safe sidewalks. The other issue that came up, and so by finding the right tool to walk along the sidewalk edge like a giant trimming, we go down 10 inches would be a wonderful solution. The other thing that came up was liability. I called my insurance agent to make sure I've always had normal business insurance. And he basically said that it's his opinion that insurance is adequate, our insurance. But if you really did bring this liability issue to task, it was his feeling that, like I said, causation. Causation is the trees. I think that the town had a right to plant trees wherever they wanted, but I'm sure you didn't get any permission from SEPTA to plant trees on their property, and I'm sure they didn't get any formal sign-off that they would be responsible for in the future.
Okay.
So the rest of
Thank you. Can I have a copy of that? And I can make sure everyone gets a copy.
I would really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care. You sure?
Who's next?
I wish I was coming before you tonight with a clear-cut solution for a problem that none of us are unfamiliar with. We always think it won't touch us personally, and sometimes it does, and it makes you really think. We have a bad drug problem in our town. It's worse than I ever thought that it was, and it's touched my life personally. I want to find a solution to stop it. These young kids are our future, and they deserve our investment. I come here each week, and I watch this council agree to a budget that has $200,000 deficit given across the board in raises. You throw money to move a skate park. You give extra money that's not allotted to your borough employees. Why can't we throw this money at our children? I listened to our former chief stand up here and say they had 2 problems battling this problem in our town. And one is if they don't see it, it didn't happen. And 2, they ran out of funds to invest so they can see it happen. We need these people off our streets and out of our alleyways. I have a 16-year-old daughter who's an honor student in Penn Ridge. And my daughter stood on my porch today and said, "Mommy, there's kids in 7th grade that are doing this stuff. You go to your meetings every week. Can't you do something?" No. I don't have a clear answer. If just putting DARE back in our schools would stop these kids, take every penny of my money and put it there, but it won't stop it. Please give our officers whatever money they ask for so that they can investigate every child, even if it was my own child. I'd rather see my own child in jail than dead. And if you can give that money away so freely, to put a fence around the park, or get a consultant to tell you about electric in Ohio, then you can make these funds free and save the children that are going to be sitting in your seats 20 years from now, when you're gone. Help me give an answer to my daughter. Thank you.
Yeah, Andrew Rumbold, South 8th Street. The first thing is, and this has been brought up like 6 months ago, about the sound system in here and how horrible it is. And supposedly you guys looked into it, but nothing's been done. An immediate thing that you could do is you could speak into the microphones, because a couple people commented to me last time that had never been here before. It was impossible to hear a lot of you. And I asked them if they could hear me, and they said, "Yeah, I could hear you fine." And that's because I'm talking into the microphone. So that's an immediate thing that could be done. As far as a more permanent solution, I was at the Bucks County Commissioners meeting a week or two ago. They actually have speakers that are just sitting on either side of the dais that are even portable. And, so how much money would that cost to get some speakers like that on either side, so that we had speakers right here and not 30 feet over our heads, and we could actually, hear the meeting. So, I mean, something needs to be done about that, because it's impossible a lot of times to hear a lot of you. The other issue was, I know it's on the agenda tonight for the Second Amendment resolution. I got a good sense that there was a lot of support from it last time from council, and I think there was maybe a little bit of misunderstanding about what it really meant, but I know that, I sent you an email with some information. I believe you got some other information as well about, what it really is, and it's just a resolution. It's just like a kind of a formal opinion of the town, which I think is real important, because there are a lot of threats to our liberties, especially the Second Amendment right now in neighboring states. Like I mentioned last time, I think there's a couple local communities, Gilberton and Schuylkill County, New Britain, that's passed a similar ordinance, Susquehanna County actually, and I think there might be one other. So I think it's real important, because I think it sends a message to not only the state but the federal government about how the people feel. So I would encourage, I would hopefully we're going to see something passed on that tonight, and I would just encourage you to vote for that and pass that. So thank you.
Anyone else this evening? Hearing done, we'll get to order the business of the town this evening. First thing, the President's Remarks, Council. I'd like to move the Second Amendment resolution under E1 of the President's Remarks, and I'd like to put forward the following resolution. Perkasie Borough Council. So the motion I'd like to make, and I'm looking for a second, would be Perkasie Borough Council affirms our vote to protect in their entireties the United States Constitution and the Pennsylvania State Constitution, including, of course, the Second Amendment. We fully support all residents exercising their First Amendment rights regarding state and federal matters, and we encourage participation, no matter what opinion, with lawmakers in Harrisburg and Washington. Perkasie Borough Council has no intention to pass any ordinance that runs afoul of these important documents, including any borough ordinance that may infringe upon Second Amendment rights. We will remain focused and vigilant on the issues, the challenges, and the opportunities of the Borough of Perkasie, specifically where change can be effected and problems solved by this governing body. So with that, Council, I'd look for a second on that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So we'll move into approval of meeting minutes. We have 3 this evening, Council. Committee of March 4th, Public Utility of March 11th, and Council of March 18th. As you probably noticed, the committee meetings for May the 1st weren't in your packet yet. So if I could get a motion to approve those 3 meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve meeting minutes. Notes? Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Going to correspondence and reports. First order of business is the mayor's report. Mr. Mayor, anything this evening?
No, nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I get a motion to approve the taxes collected?
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions on the taxes collected? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go down to the budget status report. Can I get a motion to accept the budget status
I'll
report?
make a motion to accept the budget status report. I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the budget status report. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have an engineer's report. It was in the packet last week. Can I get a motion to accept the engineer's report?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Again, Planning Commission report. When is our next plan meeting?
There's one this past Wednesday, and they reviewed information on finance, administration, park and recreation. Next meeting will be the second Wednesday of next month.
Thank you. Council, you also have in your packet a police report. Can I get a motion to accept the police report?
So moved.
Motion's been made, seconded. Any comments or questions? I believe the chief is here this evening.
I have one comment. Chief?
Yes.
It's not a question, Chief. It's just a comment.
Yes.
And I appreciate the thorough job you're doing with these reports.
Thank you.
It's outstanding. I appreciate it. It's much more detailed.
Very
I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor to accept the police report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, council, is there any unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll move into new business. Public Works Committee, we have a request for fire, police, Peace Cohegan Evangelical Lutheran Church. If I can get a motion for
Make a
that.
motion to approve the Perkasie Fire Police to assist at the Dawn Herman Memorial 5K race on Saturday, April 20, 2013, beginning at 9 a.m. at the Peace Cohegan Evangelical Lutheran Church. I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We don't have anything this evening under Public Utility Committee. We'll move to Planning and Zoning. We have Allied Home Builders, approval of agreements. Again, before we get the motion, could you just give us some background on that?
Yes, this development was approved in the year 2010. This for a 2-lot subdivision on North Main Street. As with a lot of developments in the city for a couple of years, we're actually beginning to see some movement on a lot of developments that were approved a couple of years ago. And they come to us, they report the plans. Of course, the plans don't get reported until all the agreements are signed. If there's any escrow, the escrow is put up. So these are the signed agreements. I think they were not in the packet, but I emailed them to you because they were rather lengthy. So they're ready to approve. The 3 agreements are the easement agreement there's some cross easements that have to be approved. There's a right-of-way agreement for North Main Street, and there was a stormwater facilities and monitoring
Suzanne, if you could talk right into the mic.
I'll make a motion to approve the declaration of easements and covenants from Allied Home Builders, a deed of dedication for right-of-way along North Main Street, and a stormwater facilities and maintenance and monitoring agreement from Allied Home Builders for a property at 40 and 42 North Main Street. The land development plan was originally approved by Borough Council on September 22nd, 2010. These documents are necessary to complete the final application process.
I'll second that.
Council, a motion's been made and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next order of business this evening is under the Park and Recreation Committee. We have 5 different, it looks like, events or donations to consider. So the first is an event permit for a wedding that's going to take place at the Carousel.
I'll make that motion. Motion to approve an event permit application for a wedding ceremony at the Perkasie Carousel on September 14th, 2013, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is for the Good Time Motivators Car Show. If I get a motion, Council?
Make a motion to order the Good Time
Motivators.
Car Club to hold its annual car show on May 26, 2013, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and to reserve the skate park pavilion in Lenape Park.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? The next is for the annual Perks Main Street Mile event, which is, I believe, for Alice's lemonade stand, and a very worthwhile event that's fun to participate in. So can we get a motion for the Main Street Mile?
Okay. Motion to approve the annual Perkasie's Main Street Mile Walk to take place on Saturday, June 8, 2013, from 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have another event permit for the Healthy Heart Foundation. If I get a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the Healthy Hearts Foundation to hold a 5K race, fitness walk, kids run fun run, fundraiser on Sunday, September 22nd, 2013, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and to use the Lake Lenape Twin Bridges Skate Park Pavilion, covered bridge in Lenape Park, the Rotary Pavilion in Lenape Park, and closure of the parking lot.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last item is a donation to Perkasie Old Town for a membership to give away on Spring Fest. So make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the donation of one family season tickets to the Menlo Aquatic Center for the 2013 season to the Perkasie Hometown Association to be used for a raffle event for Hotel Spring Fest.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions?
I have a comment. Should we be keeping consistent in giving 4 daily passes instead of a whole year pass for a family? Just want some opinions from the rest of the council on that.
I would agree with that.
I mean, that's what we normally give is 2, 3, 4 days instead of a whole year.
I think the raffle was off as a big money raiser, weren't they?
Well, that's what they usually do, I think.
It means like every sell tickets to the raffle and.
Yeah, they have a number of items.
So I think it's got to be something of substantial value or for them to make any money off it.
But Lowe's point is we've been consistent in what we've done in the past.
Is this something different that we
Is
did
this
this year?
different? Is this different?
Yeah, that's what I
It's somebody approach us and ask for a larger donation instead of what we normally do?
See, maybe this will help a little bit. I haven't done an inventory. It seems to me that most of the ones requested were from out of the borough. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which ones we've done in the borough. So if you wanted to make a difference, you could say this is an in-borough event, or some of the other ones were out of. I think it's still up to council as to whether you want to break that tradition and go to a season pass.
But can whoever wins the donation can be from out of the borough?
Maybe most likely.
So, that is-
But the benefit goes to an organization in town. So.
Okay, I was
And we've also given them to school functions in town, school functions, and that's at school.
Okay.
Give them the youth.
So,
And they're in the borough.
So we want to keep the motion as is, council, or does someone want to amend the motion to?
I think it should stay the way it is. Do you want to table it and find out what we normally do, or do you need to have this done tonight?
April. We would need to get it done. As we approach April.
Steve, I don't recall any in or out that were memberships. But again, it's an in-town event. I would think that if you give anybody that consideration, it would be in town. It's still your call.
Josh, you have any comment on this being a pool?
We usually give 6 passes for in-town events and 4 passes for out-of-town events, and we haven't historically given out memberships. But doesn't mean we can't.
So is there a motion to amend?
I'll make a motion to amend it, and then we'll be a little more generous and give 6 daily passes for raffling off at the Old Town, or at Spring, this is for the Spring Fest.
I'll second.
I have a question. I want to get a question through. Have we promised this as is tonight is written, now that we're amending this?
I don't think any of this is promised until we agree to it.
No, but I mean, has someone come forward and say, oh, we're going to do this and this and this, and all of a sudden we're going to look like idiots because we're not living up to the...
Steve, this young lady came in last week and asked if I said, can you put it in an email? I'll take it in front of council. There was no promises.
Okay, so we can do, if I understand it correctly, we can just throw it up in the air and come up with whatever. Nothing's written in stone. All right. So let's go over, let's amend this and say, what are we going to...
So, right now, we'll vote on the amendment to modify the original motion from a season pass to 4 passes. 6, I'm sorry, 6, excuse me.
They're right.
So all in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The amendment carries, so we'll go back to the original motion. Flo, if you want to make the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the donation of 6 daily passes to the Menlo Park Center for 2013 season to the Perkasie Old Town Association to be used for a raffle event for Perkasie Old Town Association Spring Fest.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. That's challenging my Robert's rules skills.
Mr. President, just say that we have another event, should this be held off until the next meeting. This is for the Perkasie Fire Company Carnival.
Yeah, we were actually going to bring that up in new business.
This is...
Or, I'm sorry, other business.
Oh, okay.
Undertaken.
Okay.
Thanks. All right, so we'll go down to Finance Committee. Can I get an authorization to pay the bills?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Bills will be paid. We don't have anything this evening for Economic Development Committee. More constituent outreach. Jim, anything